We made it. We're here. It's Tuesday. It's the 7th. Oh my god, how was it the 7th already? Holy crap. Um, it's crazy. I'm gonna turn off my fan so it's not craziness. I'm getting cold lately. It's winter here, which means 70 degrees. Um, so today I was talking to a new potential student, and I was telling my whole story, how I got here, why I do what I do, how I do what I do, all that stuff. And I was talking about when I first moved here to Maui. And I mean, this goes all the way back to as long as I can remember being a musician and a person who wanted to be a singer. Um, I would always need validation from the outside. And that's sure as hell has not changed. Just it's changed in a slightly different way in different parts of my life. And so what happened was I would always, I'd go to a teacher and I would ask them, am I doing this right? I would go to an audition, and if I didn't get the audition, I would just be like, well, F that, I suck. I must not be good enough at all. And then I would go back to the teacher and keep studying and studying and studying forever and ever and ever. And that's been my pattern for so long. It's just like, okay, I don't know enough about this. I better go study, because I was always a very academically focused kid. I was a very intellectually focused kid. I was in the IB program, if anybody knows what that is, all the way from elementary school through high school. That's crazy to think about. 12 years. And so I was very focused on what more do I need to know in order to make this decision, in order to go out into the world and do things. I always felt like I needed to be qualified to go do things. I had to get a certain grade on a test to feel like I knew something about it. And lo and behold, when you get to the real world as an adult, your test scores don't mean much of anything if you can't retain it and apply it and use the knowledge that you learned. And so because I didn't take voice lessons until my 20s, I knew I could hold a tune, but I never considered myself like a singer. I never thought it was possible. I didn't do music in college because I didn't think it was a smart idea. I just didn't think that I was a good enough singer or that I would ever be a good enough singer. So I played in band for one semester and then gave up that too, even though I loved band in high school. I just went for the smarter route, which looking back is ridiculous. Because most college degrees, it doesn't matter what you do, just that you have a degree. Like, nobody cares. I have a degree in friggin' Japanese. Do I use it? Occasionally. For work? Hardly ever. Luckily, right now, I'm actually using it because I'm doing an exchange with somebody else for music theory lessons. So that's fun. But it turns out that I was just waiting for yeses from people that didn't even know me at all. I didn't know what I wanted, didn't know my voice as well as me, and at the end of the day, you have to start saying yes to yourself at some point. And you have to start putting yourself in those rooms and putting yourself in those places where people know that you're a singer. And so I have many students who have gone through the Vocal Magic program who at first they came in and they were like, I just know I want to be a better singer. I know that something's blocking me. I know I'm not feeling free. So I want to get better. And then I don't know if I want to do anything with it. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, sure, whatever you say. Just waiting for the point, 3 to 6 months in when they go, okay, I can feel my voice doing better things. I can feel my freedom now vocally. And now I can start daydreaming a little bit more about what I actually want to do, which maybe recording some things, maybe going out and busking on the promenade. I don't know. That word's the only one that came to me at the moment. Even if it's not the big dream, you don't have to want a Grammy. It's fine. Like, very few people ever get into that ring, which shout out to my coach, Cheryl B. Engelhart, who just got her first Grammy nomination. I'm super stoked for her. But like all those big goals that you've talked yourself out of 800 times, we don't have to think about that right now. All I want you to do is to stop giving yourself the no before anybody else does, so that you don't have to feel bad or feel hurt. It really does yourself and others a huge disservice when you say, well, I don't really want to do anything with my voice. And then I'm like, why? Because I'm not like Taylor Swift or anything. I'm like, okay, cool. Do you know how many people are in this world are not Taylor Swift? Billions. Do you know how many people keep singing because it's just what they love to do? A whole lot. Why should you stop yourself when nobody else stops themselves just because they're not Taylor Swift or the elite 1% of the music industry? Why are you stopping yourself and putting yourself in this box that doesn't even exist outside your own head? There are plenty of people that will gatekeep you from rooms in this world, as a singer, as any kind of creative being. You're not going to get into every audition you audition for. I auditioned for something a couple weeks ago. I didn't get it. Had a couple hours of those despair thoughts, and then I was like, you know what? I have so many other plans for my music career and for my voice. It's fine. It's not like I'm just waiting to hear the next yes in order to be able to sing on stage. No, I'm going out and I'm creating spaces for myself to sing on stage because of the work that I've done in the past to get here, because of the many, many years that I've continued to say to myself, I have a good voice. I know I have a good voice. Other people say I have a good voice. I'm going to go out and meet people and just keep saying, hey, I'm Sarah, I'm a singer. Hey, I'm Sarah, I'm a singer. Hey, I'm Sarah, I'm a voice coach. Hey, I'm Sarah, I sing. What do you do? Oh, I sing. I just like to sing. What do you want to do? I just want to be a singer. For years, I've done that. And so then people know you as the singer, right? Sometimes you don't want to be stuck in that little box. I'm much more than just a singer. I'm a human being. I'm many other things. But the first step to that is just to stop saying no to yourself. Stop waiting for the yes that may never come from whoever person in power that you're waiting for. And God knows, the people that are currently in power in all of these places are not necessarily people who should be still in power. Some people are old crotchety white men who need to go, and who are not thinking of the ways that the music industry and the theater industry and all the places, all the people that gatekeep the stages, they are so often used to what has been and the traditions. Hey, Anthony, welcome. And so our job is to say yes to ourselves, to allow other visions of what could be on the stage. We don't know what could be, because the people that are gatekeeping those places, those rooms, are so stuck on what has been, and they are just trying to fit you into the box that they know of as what has been, right? So if you have something special that you're bringing with your voice or your art or whatever you're doing, if you say no to yourself before you even ask to get in this door, how will they ever know what new exciting voices are out there, right? If you are waiting to get into this one room, you will not ever take a look outside and see what other rooms there are to get into. Maybe there's a place for you to start your own space. Maybe you start creating your own shows. Maybe you start a new band that sounds unlike anybody else has ever sounded. But if we continue to just wonder why people are not saying yes to me, then you're not giving yourself the, what's the word I'm trying to say? You're not giving yourself the space, the ability to even try out something new for yourself. You're not giving yourself the freedom to try and fail, and that's a lot of, I think, why we do it, why we say no to ourselves before we even try anything new, put ourselves in a new space, because we're so afraid of somebody else saying no to us and feeling that rejection, because we think that the people who are already running those gates know everything. and their voices are the be all end all of what good singing should be. But it's not. They're not. Just gonna tell you right now, they are not. And it's the new creators of the world that are going to create the world that we want to see in the arts, in any realm, whether it be politics or journalism or wherever anybody gets their voice heard. This is where we need to start saying yes to ourselves and start stepping into the room or creating your own room. Otherwise, nothing's ever going to change. And God knows we're all sick of the way it's been. Things need to change, right? Music industry, things are changing all the time. Like the Grammys this week, so many new exciting artists are getting these awards and accolades that they deserve. And so many older artists that have never gotten the accolades that they deserve are getting them now. And so slowly but surely, like, the doors are starting to crack open. And those people only got there because they said yes to themselves, right? Look at Lizzo. My God, she is the best example of just saying yes to herself no matter what. She was up against so much criticism throughout her entire career for 800 different reasons, but she continued to say yes to herself and yes to her music and yes to her voice, even though she was not where she wanted to be 20 years ago. She's taken voice lessons. She took flute lessons. She collaborated with some amazing people who taught her how to find her own strengths and her own creativity. And she's been able to take all those people with her to her success. And think if she was of the mindset of like, you know what, I might not make it, so I'm not going to try. Yeah, this is a soapbox. I feel very strongly about this. This is what I tell my students all the time. Like, and it can be on a very small scale too. We can talk about micro versus macro. Like, that's a very macro idea about Lizzo and the music industry. And even if you're a person who doesn't care about winning a Grammy or having any kind of singing career, if you just want to, I don't know, audition for a band, or if you want to sing karaoke with your friends, that can be a smaller scale thing, but you still have to say yes to yourself on a smaller scale. So like if you're practicing a song and there's this one note that you can't quite hit, it's like, ooh, just out of your reach. But you keep saying, well, it's just not going to happen for me. I might as well just give up and not do karaoke. What are you doing to yourself? What evidence are you giving to yourself for everything else that you endeavor to do in the future? You're just stopping yourself before you even try. Some things on my lip. It's weird. And that doesn't get you anywhere. It's not going to get you to even closer to that note. What you can do is you can stop trying to put yourself in the box of whoever sang that song before, bring the key down, make that song more accessible for your voice as it is right now, instead of trying to be a different voice than you are. And then you can give yourself more evidence that this is possible for me. This song is possible. I'm just trying to fit myself into an unrealistic box, right? And so even by trying to sing a song in a different key than is best for you, you're saying no to yourself. You're not giving yourself the best possible jumping off point, the best possible foundation for your dreams to come true, or even things that you would never even dream of could come true if you just stopped saying no to yourself. If you stopped saying, no, I'm not good at that. If you stopped saying, no, that's not possible. But instead, you ask for a mentor. You ask for a vocal coach. You ask to collaborate with people who know more than you about certain subjects. You just keep singing and putting yourself in rooms for people to hear your voice if that's what you want. And even if you suck, you'll keep getting better and better. Chances are you probably don't suck as much as you think you do, because 99% of the people that come see me are like, yeah, I'm not very good. I'm like, you're so awesome. You have no idea how awesome you are, because we've been trained for our entire lives to play small and to say, I'm not very good, because we think we're supposed to be, I don't know, self-deprecating or self-judging or just not braggy, You've been trained to do that a lot of times. So, Anthony, you're a great example of that. You have been continuing to study voice, and you're continuing to put yourself in rooms in front of people, and you're continuing to improve every time I hear you, and it's so inspiring to watch. So thank you for being a person that says yes to yourself. Some people in the world might look at you and, for whatever reason, jealousy or the internalized judgments that they've gotten from other people, they might look at you and say, what are you doing? How dare you put your voice out there like that before you are as good as Taylor Swift or whoever you're trying to be? But that's not how Taylor Swift got to where she was. She put herself in rooms. She said yes to herself before she was this good. She was imperfect. She is still imperfect. She's a human. And we put those people up on a pedestal so much that we think, oh, there's no way I could ever be that good. Might as well just give up now, but that's not how those people got to where they are. And we also don't see 99% of what they do on the way to practicing for their performance or being in the studio or whatever. We don't see all the failures that they have made. We just see all our failures. And then we internalize all those failures and say, well, 90% of the time I suck. That's cool. That's part of learning. That's part of getting better. Like, if you were just good already, you wouldn't need to do any work and you'd just be a robot, So if you're a person that that voice is in your head saying, why even try? You're not as good as them. Think about if you were Taylor Swift's mom or Taylor Swift's best friend or something, and you imagine all of the individual days that it has taken for her to get to this point in her career. She's about my age, I think. She's 34, 35. No, maybe a little younger. But she has every day worked on her voice for 30 some years. But you just didn't see that. You just saw her bounce to stardom when she was, 16, 17. And then grow every day until now. But you don't have to see all that. So your brain goes, oh, she's just really awesome. She was just perfect from the beginning. But no, that's not true. She was probably terrible when she was younger too. She just kept saying yes to herself and said, yep, I'm going to go get voice lessons. I'm going to go get songwriting lessons. I'm going to go work with people who are better than me, and keep saying yes to myself along the way, wherever I am. Even if I can't hit that high note right now, I'm still going to say yes to myself. I'm still going to go sing that song out in public, because that's what I want to be doing. That's what I dream about all the time. Hey, Lisa, welcome. You're a good example of this too, of continuing to say yes to yourself, even though the gremlin in your head is going, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know. But that's what it takes, is meeting yourself where you are and saying yes through all the gremlin voices. So you're doing it. You're doing a great job. I know I talk about this a lot. Just letting go of the need to let other voices outside of yourself be the dictator of your future. And I have a lot of work to do around this too. Like, obviously, I was just talking about an audition that I had and I didn't get a call back. And the default voice that came into my head was like, what did you do wrong? Like, do they not like you as a person? Did you mess up something and forget about it? Like, did they want you to sing that song a different way? I can't control any of that after the fact, and in the end, it really doesn't matter. But my point is to say that my default was to go to those negative places too. I've done so much work around this that it only lasted for a couple hours. I'm grateful to say. It came back occasionally here and there, that little thing that comes back in when you're stressed and is like, yeah, you suck, you're terrible. But I know my voice and my gremlin so well that I'm able now to separate it and be like, no, F you. I know this is your whole thing. I hear it all the time. I hear it every single day. You can go away now. I don't need that, because I know that I'm creating the yeses that I need in my life. I'm creating the opportunities for my voice that are correct for me. Just because I didn't get this one doesn't mean that I am not a good singer. I know that, like, to my core now after many, many years of rejection, and also many years of praise, but I wouldn't have gotten that praise if I didn't step outside my comfort zone and keep saying yes to myself. You know what I mean? So there's many times where your gremlin's going to come back and say, are you sure you want to do this? And it's just like saying yes to whoever's the negative person in your life. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to? My dad said that to me every day of high school. Like, are you sure you want to be in this ridiculously hard academic program? And I was like, yes, I do. I want this. I am happy. I'm with all my friends. I want that diploma. Like, I know it in my heart. I do. And so I had to fend his voice off, both his actual voice and in my head, and say, no, this is what I want. Like, thank you for caring about my well-being, but this is what I'm going to do. And so I've continued to say yes and yes and yes and F off to my gremlin, which is, of course, a combination of my dad's and all the other societal voices in my head. So, yeah, that's what I have to say. I think it's just really good to know yourself and to know your patterns. And so then they start to become a separate force that you can send over into the corner, and you don't have to be bogged down by that voice all the time. They're always going to come back. It's always going to come back. But how I have gotten to this place now where a no doesn't bother me as much is that I know that there are other moments where I'm going to say yes to myself. I'm going to continue to say yes to myself in other ways, right? I don't need to be in that show. I'm creating my own show. I have other opportunities. I'm writing songs. I'm recording songs. I'm pitching to sync. I'm creating all of these spaces where I make my yes. And even when I'm rehearsing a song, if we're going to get micro again, if I am singing a song that is not in my usual genre, or it feels like it has a couple notes that are out of my range, I'm going to find a way for my body to do that without straining. I'm going to bring the song to me. I talk about this a lot. I'm going to bring the song to me instead of trying to fit myself in the song, number one, so I can change the key, change that particular melody line for what works for me better, because I'm singing the song. It's not like I'm trying to be Adele or something. And then I'm going to give myself the practice that I need. I'm going to give myself the nervous system resets that I need. I'm going to give myself the rest that I need. I'm going to give myself the water I need. I'm going to take care of myself in those ways. That's all saying yes to yourself too, so that I can sing that song in a way that's feels good to me, instead of me trying to do something that is out of my reach, which gives me more evidence and my grandma more evidence that I'm a bad singer, I'm a bad person, I'm not good enough. So I'm going to take myself out of those situations, put myself into a situation where I can give myself evidence that I am good enough. You know what I mean? And by that, I mean, I don't mean don't do things that are challenging. I mean, do things that are challenging, but not impossible. I'm all for big goals, honestly, but like baby steps is a thing for a reason. Like, your nervous system needs those spaces where it can just take one step out of its comfort zone, and then that becomes normalized and that becomes safe to your nervous system now, instead of taking 8 steps out of your comfort zone and freaking your nervous system out so it goes into shutdown freeze mode. We don't want that. Somebody else might do that too. You might have a confrontation or something that might make you feel attacked, and you might go into freeze mode, and that's okay. But you don't want to be putting yourself in situations like that. There's something to be said for like exercise. We put ourselves in a slight comfort deficit so that we can grow out of our comfort zone little bit by little bit, right? We raise our heart rate this much, but not this much, unless you're a crazy athletic exerciser person. But even that's going to stress your body out and not do anything good for you. It's going to take your body way too long to recover to have any kind of benefit. So like we grow the weight that we're lifting gradually. We increase the distance that we're running gradually. for a reason, so that our nervous system can catch up. And so then that extra distance becomes our normal over time. Same with this stuff, same with singing. We extend our range gradually so that we're not trying to sing a song an octave above our normal range. We are slowly trying to hit one more note every couple weeks. And we're stretching and we're taking care of ourselves, and we're not straining in order to do that. So those are all the ways we can say yes to ourselves that I can think of right now. And I'm sure I could talk for 100 more hours because I love talking about this stuff. And of course, I have work to do on this too. Most of my work right now revolves around being a business owner and marketing myself, which is a lot out of my comfort zone. So if you see me talking about this stuff, that's what I'm probably talking about in my life. Just working on it being a little less scary to put myself out there little bit by little bit. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I definitely have a marketing gremlin, but I'm working on separating from it so that it doesn't consume me when I feel a little scared. And I'm taking marketing little bit by little bit and saying yes to myself and saying, yeah, I deserve to have this business. I deserve to be paid for being a vocal coach. I know what I'm talking about. I'm good at this, So same thing with you and whatever you're working on, whether it's singing or your job or a relationship or whatever it may be in your life. Just don't wait for everybody else to say yes to you. That's what I have to say. I love you very much. Thank you for being here. If you're watching later, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Share it with your friends. If you have other singer friends that you think this would benefit, please send them to my Instagram. Send them to my group if they're not on the IGs. Very soon, I'm going to be opening doors to Vocal Magic again. It's going to look different this time. A slightly different configuration. So stay tuned for that. If you know somebody who would be interested, send them my way. I think that's all I have to talk about. Oh, I have 2 singles that just came out in the last 2 months. I haven't been talking about that a whole lot, but I have one that just came out last Thursday. It's called Forgot to Ask. So you can search up my name, Sarah Jelly, on all the places that you listen to music. And the other one came out in January. It's called I Will Rise. It's a big epic trailer song. And then I have another one coming out on March 3rd. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to try and share on both accounts a little more often. Share my music on this one and coaching on the other one. So yeah, follow me in both places if you haven't. And have a lovely rest of your day. And I will see you very soon. Goodbye.